Today I will be discuss about Agamemnon. Agamemnon, as you know that Agamemnon is the first play of the Orestian trilogy, and it is consisted into three parts. The first one is Agamemnon, the second one is Libation Bearer, and the third one is Eumenides. And the first play of the Orestian trilogy is Agamemnon. Okay, now we need to know what is trilogy. Trilogy is something that has three parts. Okay, and in another word, you can say that a set of three literary works or dramatic works, literary or dramatic works related in subject and theme. A set of three literary or dramatic works related in the subject and theme. This word trilogy originated from the Greek word trilogia, meaning series of three related tragedies performed at Athens at the festival of Dionysus. Okay, and it's consisted into three parts. As you know that the first one is Agamemnon, second one is Libation Bearer, and the third one is Eumenides. And the first one, Agamemnon is the play of the Orestian trilogy, or is the first play of the Orestian trilogy, which represents the intrigues about the Agamemnon's murder. King Agamemnon returns from the Trojan War. And is killed by his own wife Clytemnestra as revenge for sacrificing their daughter. And Agamemnon had to sacrifice his daughter Iphigenia to appease or please the goddess Artemis. Artemis was the goddess of hunting or wild. Artemis had stopped to fleet Agamemnon. Artemis, the goddess of wild and hunting, had stopped Agamemnon's fleet from being able to reach Troy. And that's why Agamemnon had to sacrifice his daughter to make Artemis pleased, and he compelled to kill his daughter Iphigenia. Okay. It's a revenge tragedy. We know that Agamemnon is the prominent figure of the Greek mythology, and Agamemnon was the king of Argos and ruled the Agamemnon was a prominent figure in the Greek mythology, best known as the king of Mycenae or king of Argos, and he ruled the city of Mycenae. Agamemnon was the king of Argos and ruled the powerful city of Mycenae and commander of the Greek army. He led the Achaean forces in the Trojan War, a decade-long conflict spurred by the abduction of his brother Menelaus' wife Helen by Paris of Troy. As you know that Menelaus' wife Helen was abducted by Paris. Paris was the prince of Troy, and he was the youngest son of King Priam, and the youngest brother director. And in the absence of Menelaus, Paris took Helen to Troy, or Paris abducted Helen and took her to Troy. Okay. And that's why the war happened. Okay. Brother of Menelaus. Agamemnon's brother Menelaus was the king of Sparta, and his wife Helen's abduction ignited the Trojan War. Husband of Clytemnestra. Agamemnon was the husband of Clytemnestra. Agamemnon married Clytemnestra, and Agamemnon and Clytemnestra had several children, including Iphigenia. Including Iphigenia, Orestes, Electra, and Chrysothemis. Agamemnon and Clytemnestra had 4 children named Iphigenia, Orestes, Electra, and Chrysothemis. And in the second part of the Orestian trilogy, we can see that libation bearer. In the libation bearer, the second part of the trilogy, Orestes killed his own mother, Clytemnestra. Orestes killed his own mother and Clytemnestra and Clytemnestra's lover, as is thus, because to take revenge on the death of Agamemnon, his father's death. Okay, Orestes kills his mother Clytemnestra to avenge the death of Agamemnon, to avenge the death of his father Agamemnon. Okay. Sacrifice of Iphigenia. We know that Agamemnon had to sacrifice his own daughter Iphigenia to please the goddess Artemis. Here, to ensure favorable winds for the Greek fleet to sail to Troy, Agamemnon was compelled to sacrifice his daughter Iphigenia, murdered by Clytemnestra. Upon his return from Trojan War, we know that when Agamemnon returns from the Trojan War, he was murdered by his own wife Clytemnestra with the help of his cousin, as is thus. Okay. Character traits. In various accounts, Agamemnon is portrayed as a powerful leader, but also he was arrogant, impetuous, and ultimately responsible for his own downfall through his actions and decisions. The main theme of Agamemnon is revenge and justice. But the main theme of Agamemnon is, we know, the main theme of Agamemnon is one, revenge and justice. Two, word and its aftermath. Number 3, gender role. Number 4, fate. main theme of Agamemnon. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about the main theme. The first one is revenge and justice. In Aeschylus's Agamemnon, the themes and justice are deeply intertwined and explored through the actions of Clytemnestra and Agamemnon. Okay. While Agamemnon believes his actions, like sacrificing his daughter, okay, Agamemnon used to believe that he was right, and his actions were right, like sacrificing his daughter, Iphigenia, is justified for the greater good. He thought that he was right to do this mistake because he thought he done all these things for the greater good, or securing safe places to Troy, or to secure his journey to Troy. Okay, but Clytemnestra views them as monsters and seeks revenge through his murder. Because Clytemnestra, to Clytemnestra, it was not right, because he killed his own daughter, or sacrificed his own daughter to win the war. So Clytemnestra thought he was not right, and he okay. The play highlights how acts of revenge can perpetuate a cycle of violence and bloodshed, ultimately failing to resolve the underlying issues. As we know that Agamemnon is the first play of the Orestian trilogy. Orestia. The word Orestia, or the name Orestia, is related to the Orestes. The word Orestia is related to the Orestes. Orestes means mountain, or mountain dweller, or who stands on the mountain. And here we know that Orestes was the son of Clytemnestra and Agamemnon. And in the second part of the trilogy, Libation Bearer, we can see that Orestes killed his mother and her lover as revenge for the death of his father Agamemnon. Okay? Okay. Here, shortly after his return, when Agamemnon returns from the war after 10 years, Agamemnon is murdered by his wife Clytemnestra. Clytemnestra murders Agamemnon to avenge the death of their daughter Iphigenia, whom Agamemnon sacrificed before the Trojan War. and to appease the goddess Artemis, Agamemnon had to sacrifice his daughter to appease the goddess Artemis, who had stopped Agamemnon's fleet from being able to reach Troy. That's why Agamemnon had to sacrifice his daughter, or he was compelled to sacrifice Iphigenia. Okay. In fact, Artemis demanded innocent blood from Agamemnon. To get revenge on him for once insulting her. Okay, Agamemnon, actually Artemis was insulted by Agamemnon. That's why he took revenge on Agamemnon. She took revenge on Agamemnon. Okay, Clytemnestra is also upset that Agamemnon has brought Cassandra, a princess. Okay, Clytemnestra was also upset because Agamemnon has brought Cassandra. Cassandra was the Trojan princess. She was the daughter of King Priam and sister of Hector and Paris. She was the Trojan princess. When Troy has been destroyed, that time Agamemnon took her as his concubine. Okay. So that made him Clytemnestra angry. Killing her husband is also an act of revenge for Agamemnon's infidelity. Okay. Despite Clytemnestra's own infidelity with Aegisthus. So Clytemnestra thought that she was right to kill Agamemnon because she was angry with Agamemnon. She was angry with Agamemnon for his infidelity. Agamemnon's death also serves as a kind of multi-generational revenge for Aegisthus, because decades earlier, Agamemnon's father Atreus had killed Aegisthus. Okay. Before knowing this story, we have to know the family tree of Agamemnon. Okay? Let's see what was the family tree of Agamemnon. Pelops had two sons, Atreus and Thistis. And Atreus had two sons, Agamemnon and Menelaus. And Thistis had three children. Other two children were killed by Atreus. The only one son was of Thistis is Aegisthus. Okay? And Agamemnon's wife was Azizdus had an extramarital relationship with Clytemnestra. Relationship with Clytemnestra. Okay? And as we know that Clytemnestra and Agamemnon married Clytemnestra. Clytemnestra and Agamemnon had several children, including Iphigenia. They are Iphigenia, Electra, Orestes, and Chrysothemis. Okay? Let's go about the story. Decade earlier, Agamemnon's father Atreus killed Azizdus' siblings or brothers and cooked them as a food, and which he then served to Thyestes, Azizdus' father, Thyestes. You can say that Agamemnon's father Atreus killed Thyestes' children or Azizdus' siblings and cooked them as food, which served them to Thyestes. Okay, and this cruel revenge okay. Thus, Agamemnon completes that particular cycle of revenge as well. Okay. As the play draws to a close, both Clytemnestra and Azizdus describe the murders as a successful offering to the Furies in order to right Agamemnon's offense. Against them, the justice has been served. Agamemnon thought that justice, it is justified and justice has been served, and Clytemnestra thought she was right, and she was satisfied to take revenge on Agamemnon. Okay, revenge. So we can say that revenge always leads to revenge. Revenge always leads to more revenge. In fact, the murder of Agamemnon propels the next set of revenges in the Orestia, and so the cycle of revenge and bloodshed continues. Okay, but Clytemnestra revenge is not the end of the story. It says, but we have to say that Clytemnestra's stories Clytemnestra's revenge is not the end of the story, and it sets the stage for taking the